So if you don't use the font and just take the pen tool, again resetting this piece before I start to change that, I might cut it. And here's the logo, so I'm going to double click on it first and dim it and lock it down. Give myself a new layer above this. And again, if I just go to Edit Paste, it'll paste it offside somewhere. And if you undo it and go to Edit Paste in Place, it'll put it exactly where you took it from. So I have the pen tool, I reset it. Make sure that letter's not highlighted. So just click off of it, maybe. There we go. And now with the pen tool selected, I might try it. I'll see what happens. Just clicking inside, overextending this down here just to see what will happen here. And this is the part where the stroke is. So it's still a drawing, still an illustration that he has. And just kind of make that thickness happen, see what it looks like. It's a little crazy there. So like I said, you can adjust it. This is where you do the object path and outline the stroke and switch the color so you can see what it looks like. And that gives you some indication of where that's at. And if it does have a color, at least you can see through that part. And this is where you would line this section up at the top here. That looks kind of crooked. Huh. That was wild. So it didn't come out perfectly straight, but that would be, I'll do a quick one and then I'll backtrack and use the letter form just so you can experience that part of it. Okay, so here are the pieces, and using the shape builder would be the option to take these off. And that gives you a letter that may be pretty close. It was the same thickness going through as a stroke, so you could try that way. The other option is to use the letter, and your character's Arial is a font, and again when you click inside you can see the different fonts. Click on this part and Arial comes down, so bold might be the one. But this is still an editable font, so you have to go up into Type and create outlines. As soon as you do this, you no longer have the letter form. So before I do it, I'm going to Option and set a letter over here, and then just do the Type, Create Outlines. And now this is an outline image, just like if I drew it with the pen tool, but the font is the letter. So that makes it a little bit easier. So you can scale this down, Shift key it, maybe. And like I said, his logo isn't perfectly straight, but that's kind of the idea. And then when I take a look at that, I can say, well, is that the letter form that you want, kind of thing. So I'll keep it there, and now it's just a matter of trying to figure out the angle of all these so it stays the same. You could draw it and then twist it, bend it, draw it with the pen tool maybe. Use the line segment tool to start it off. So here it sets on the anchor. I can create that line right there. You can barely see it. So let's give it a color, a little thickness to it. So I'll just make it a bold line just so you can see it in the beginning. And then it's a matter of saying, okay, I can Option and put this on this letter N, top of the letter here. And you can always shrink this down to fit, still keeping that same angle. The angle that I have is consistent. The drawing is a little freeform for that part. So it's a trickier sketch there. Shift key to drag it across. Okay. So this one is Option, putting it over here. But like I said, it's going to be a tricky one. I'm trying to decide myself whether or not I just follow his sketch. So I could do that. Might make it easier at first. We'll see what happens here. you can see is it's giving the anchor points. Shift key to keep it straight, compensate for the drawing here. Let's see if he's got that. Let's see. We're just using arrow keys to move that one down. And again, this is the anchor point on this one. Try to compensate a little bit for it. Okay, so that was all done with some thick lines, but there's the logo. I can select all of it. I miss a piece, I think I did, yep. Going from here across. So the extensions on this are also with the stroke where it has it aligned in the middle, aligned on the inside. Make sure I have everybody selected here. I'll hide this guy here. And let's see, put this on the inside of it. Maybe not. I think I got it all there. First I'll try to go a consistent line there. So it's given a little bit of a change. I missed a couple of sketched lines in there, so I can add those back into it. Zoom in a little bit. Bring this back. Bring the pen tool back. Just connect some of these. Take the direct selection tool. Connect some of these together. That's kind of the beginning part of it, and then it's just again a matter of trying to create the shapes that are going to be part of this. Here's the inside of it. And let's see, it's going to be a tricky one. You can live paint it, which we haven't talked about yet. Let's see what happens here. But these are all using the shape builder sections in here, so if it's going to be combined or separate pieces, it's kind of a nice connection. So if you are tracing this over, that'll be fine, but for Nathan, if he wants to straighten everything together there, that would be your goal onto that. So let's see what we've got. So here you can, just by clicking these, makes them a positive shape. Just have to be careful which ones you're clicking. So now, build that section together. So now each one of these pieces, by virtue of the line being there, are eligible to be made into shapes and also colored. Maybe, let's see what happens here. And that will give you this one here. So again, as you build this up, you can kind of see how it was created, all based on the lines. And here you have a short animation of everything being